The upcoming episodes of Peppa Pig are going to focus entirely on her brand new baby sister, Evie Pig. Are you ready to find out what the first few months of life will be like for the newest little piggy? First friend. Everyone has a first friend, and in Evie Pig's case, we're pretty sure it's going to be baby Alexander, her cousin, who's also a newborn. In the episode Baby Piggy, Peppa's family goes to Uncle and Aunt Pig's house to meet the new cousin. That same story is going to repeat when it's time for Chloe Pig's family to meet their new cousin Evie. But baby Alexander isn't going to like his cousin at first. That's because he'll feel jealous, since he's no longer the new baby in the family. We know this because in Alexander's episode, George felt jealous of the new cousin. Alexander will start to like Evie once he realizes she's actually really cool. They're going to want to play in the mud, because pigs love that, and since it'll be the first time the two youngest cousins learn how to jump in muddy puddles, their friendship is basically guaranteed. And the best part is, you're about to find out exactly what Evie Pig's first few months will be like. First birthday. And who isn't excited to see Evie's first birthday? Of course, a lot will happen before that episode, but the story about Evie's party is going to be one of the funniest. That episode will be called The Missing Cake. The narrator will begin by saying it's Evie Pig's first birthday, and the whole family will be super happy because all their friends have arrived for the party. Everyone brought presents for Evie, until the doorbell rings and Daddy Pig answers it. It's the mailman, Mr. Zebra. But then Daddy Pig gets confused and asks where the cake is. The truth is, the Pig family had bought a birthday cake from Miss Rabbit's shop to celebrate Evie, and it was supposed to be delivered by mail. But Mr. Zebra didn't bring anything and said there was no cake in the delivery box. Mommy Pig picks up the phone and calls Miss Rabbit's bakery, and she replies saying she already put the package in the mailbox the day before. But how? Mr. Zebra showed up empty-handed. That's when a big mystery begins. Where is the birthday cake? Evie Pig realizes something's wrong and starts to cry, and that's when everyone at the party runs around town looking for the cake. They go to the mall, the school, and even the town farm, searching for the treat. And then Mr. Zebra realizes that he accidentally delivered tomorrow's mail instead of today. So everyone races to the mailbox with today's deliveries, and there it is, Evie's birthday cake. The party continues right in the middle of town, and all the characters come together to celebrate. The only bad part is that Evie won't remember the wild adventure that was her first birthday. But you will. First toy. If George has a dinosaur as his favorite toy and Peppa has Teddy, then what will Edie's toy be? It's definitely going to be a panda bear. This theory popped up online in the last few days, and it actually makes a lot of sense. Evie was introduced in the show to charm the fans, and after a lot of digging to find out what animals younger viewers love most, the panda came out on top. That means Evie Pig is already a major icon for today's younger generation. The little panda she's going to get from Miss Rabbit might not have a name yet. That's because she hasn't learned to talk yet, and it'll be up to Evie herself to choose the name of her favorite toy. And when Evie does learn to talk, she might name the panda Peggy. That's because there was a popular fan theory online that Peppa's new sister would be named Peggy. But since the creators went a different route, the show might bring that name back through the toy. What do you think? Day at the park. At some point, Evie Pig will finally get to leave the house and go play at the park with her older siblings. And sometime this year, the show is expected to release an episode called A Day at the Park, where Evie will finally get to explore one of the coolest places in town. But when that time comes, we need to be extra careful because the Pig family doesn't exactly have a perfect track record there. Everyone remembers when Grandpa Pig took the kids to play on the slide. He let George and Richard Rabbit cut in line, keeping the other kids from having fun. And most likely, Grandpa Pig will be the one to take Evie to the playground for the very first time. Just like George, Evie probably won't like having to wait in line to play, and that's definitely going to upset the other kids. Will that stop Evie from making new friends? Would you be friends with Evie? Drop a hashtag yes in the comments so we can get to know ya. Beach. And of course, we have to see Evie's very first day at the beach, and there's no doubt that this episode is going to happen. There are already lots of episodes where Peppa visits the beach, but we're betting that Grandpa and Grandma Pig will take their 3 grandkids to see the ocean. And the plot really is what you're probably thinking. Evie wants to visit the beach and see the fish. As everyone knows, Grandpa Pig owns a boat, and he's definitely going to take his newest granddaughter out fishing. This will also be the episode where Grandma Pig teaches Evie how to swim. It's going to be a super fun and emotional day because it's always special when someone sees the ocean for the first time. Do you think Evie might make a fish friend? We sure hope so. School. One of the things that's definitely going to happen is Evie going to school for the very first time. But we're not talking about Madame Gazelle's class just yet. Before that, Evie needs to go to daycare. There's even a theory that Miss Rabbit runs a little preschool just for the younger kids before they're old enough to start with Madame Gazelle. And that could be true because Miss Rabbit seems to run everything important in town. Evie will start daycare when Mommy Pig has to go back to work. But someone needs to take care of the little piggy during the day, And that's when we'll find out there's yet another building in town managed by Miss Rabbit, the place where all the youngest kids stay until they're ready to move on to Madame Gazelle's class. Evie will make new friends on that day when she meets her cousin Alexander's daycare buddies. Two of them will be Rebecca and Richard Rabbit's little siblings. Remember them? Rose and Robbie Rabbit? They're going to meet Evie that day. Do you think the babies will get along? First word. What's going to be Evie Pig's very first word? There's a pretty big clue hidden in what her siblings said. In Baby Alexander's episode, Peppa asks her parents what her own first word was. Mummy Pig said it was mummy, while Daddy Pig, who clearly has a terrible memory, insists it was daddy. George, of course, said dinosaur, so maybe it's finally time for someone to give Daddy Pig the honor. He's always been a little bummed that none of his kids had daddy as their first word. That's definitely possible, but there's also a chance that Evie will copy George and say the name of her favorite toy, the panda. Could Edie's first word be panda? That would be adorable, even if it leaves Daddy Pig a little disappointed. But there's also one more word she might say first. What if Evie ends up saying Peppa? The new piggy is going to be super close to her older sister. They'll spend lots of time together, so it would be incredibly touching if Evie's first word was the name of the person she loves most in the world. Peppa. Do you really think that's going to happen? We hope so. Trip. Everyone knows the Pig family loves to travel. They've already been to America, France, Italy, and even Australia. Evie is definitely going to explore lots of new places around the world, and maybe her very first trip will be by boat. Grandpa Pig owns a boat, and he could take the whole family on a big sea adventure. They could visit different islands or even other countries. Maybe the Pig family could take Evie to see Aunt Dottie's house in the US. But why not travel by plane? Easy. A sea adventure would be way more exciting, and their newest little piggy would absolutely love it. Where do you think Evie's first trip will be? We already know you'll be joining us for every episode, so make sure to hit subscribe and hit that notification bell. Moon. Did you know Peppa and George already went to the moon? Grandpa Rabbit took them, along with Madame Gazelle and Granny Pig, on a trip to outer space. So maybe that's going to be one of Edie's adventures too. It wouldn't be fair if Evie never got to visit the moon, and that's exactly why we think the show will eventually send her to space as well. Of course, it'll still be Grandpa Rabbit flying the rocket, since he's the only one who has one. But don't worry, Evie won't be alone with a mad scientist. Grandpa Rabbit's harmless. He just wants to take the little piggy on a fun adventure, and you can bet Mummy Pig will go along for the ride. Still, it is a fair concern. After all, Grandpa Rabbit took Peppa to space without telling anyone. It was scary, but also hilarious. Will Evie enjoy the moon too? We'll find out in the next episodes. Bicycle. Evie is definitely going to learn to walk before she ever hops on a bike, but we think the episode where she learns how to ride is coming very soon. Yes, she'll be using training wheels to make sure she doesn't fall and hurt herself, and that's super important because once she sees Peppa riding a big girl bike, Evie is absolutely going to get jealous. That's when Peppa will have to explain to her little sister that she's not quite ready yet because she's still very young. Edie won't get it at first, but like we said before, the two sisters are going to be super close, and Peppa will probably be the one to teach her little sister how to ride a bike, which is just so sweet. Edie's future in the series is already looking super bright, but for you, the good stuff starts right now. There are 2 more awesome videos waiting for you here on the channel. We'll see you in the next one. See you soon!